we're going to do something quite extraordinary and special for you tonight.
Recently, I reviewed this Sony VRD MC5 DVD recorder, and in that video I mentioned its successor, the Sony VRD MC6. Well, in the process of making that video, I discovered that there's a knockoff product that looks almost identical to that Sony model, the Protis PT1192, which was sold on the Home Shopping Network.
The Protis Media Recorder. This is the way that you take all your old VHS tapes, all your old camcorders and Betacams, and even the stuff that's stuck on your DVRs, and you convert them to high definition, full quality DVD mode.
We love the Protis because this is a standalone digitization solution. So with no computer needed, no monitor needed, nothing extra, you're gonna be able to plug this right into any device. So it could be that old camcorder, it could be your VCR, it could be virtually anything.
Unfortunately, my fingernails aren't as nicely manicured and polished like theirs were, but I also didn't pay $140 for it like HSN was charging, because lately there's been a large quantity of these available on eBay for around $30 plus shipping. And the box is a little beaten up, but it does appear to be completely new and unused. It was also sold by HSN's rival QVC as the Pegasus multifunction DVD recorder.
This is called the Pegasus. It's a multifunction media recorder. It comes with 10 blank DVDs, and of course you can buy more DVDs at your local store, but it's 4 easy payments of $39.98.
It is manufactured by Shenzhen Koho Technology Company Limited and has a 64-bit ARM CPU running Android 6.1. And the advantage of this model compared to the Sony is that it doesn't just burn DVDs, it can also record video to SD cards and USB drives. So inside the box we get some literature for it. Looks like a quick start guide, the main manual, recorder FAQs, and a warranty statement. There's the recorder itself, and this box is probably the power supply and some AV cables, and it also comes with a bunch of blank discs. So there it is. It came with 15 blank discs, and it has one of these screen protectors, so of course I have to take that off. It feels much lighter than the Sony. On this side it has left and right audio inputs, composite video input. Unfortunately there's no S-video input or DV input, but it does have an HDMI output because this can actually also serve as a DVD player, as well as playing anything you record on this. And it has the USB port for a flash drive or external hard drive. On this side is the SD card slot, the 5-volt DC power input, and on the front it looks like an ordinary laptop-style DVD burner drive. When you first turn it on, it takes about 40 seconds to boot up, but once it finally does, you get this menu with choices to record from the video input, a USB drive or SD card to a DVD, to record video to a USB drive or SD card, to copy a DVD to a USB drive or SD card, and to transfer files between the USB drive and SD card. You can also use it as a media player, and you get a setup menu. Well, I put in a movie disc, and when I go to the media player function and choose DVD, it just shows the file structure of the disc like you get when you put it in a computer, and when you try to play one of those VOB files, it just says can't play this video. So I think it's misleading when they said you could use this as a portable DVD player.
And you're going to be able to play that disc right from the device onto any television.
So basically it's like a free DVD player in addition.
No, it's not, Brett Chuckerman.
Damn.
It does support playing a wide variety of audio and video files, but just like the Sony, there is no built-in speaker, so to monitor the audio of what you're playing or recording, you'll want to connect it to your TV through the HDMI output. And in the setup menu, you get a choice of recording formats, because this can not only record MPEG-2 video, which is what DVDs use, but also MP4 video, which is easier to edit on a computer. And you can choose the type of DVD you want to record, either a data disc, such as for storing those MP4 files, or a video DVD you can play in any standard DVD player. And you get choices of recording quality from high quality all the way down to super long play. Auto stop timer, which will automatically stop the recording after a certain amount of time has elapsed, up to 8 hours. Auto chapter, just like that Sony I reviewed, you get a choice of splitting up the files at increments of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes. You can erase a disk if it's a rewritable disk. You can switch it from NTSC to PAL, and other basic settings like the time and date, and that's it. So I connected the input to my VCR and the HDMI output to my TV, and even though it's putting out a 1080p 60 signal, I think it's just upscaling whatever the low resolution is of this built-in display, because the image is very grainy and low resolution. And also I discovered that there's no audio when you're recording. I have my volume turned up on my TV, and there's no audio coming out of it. It's only when you stop and play what you recorded that you do get audio. So that sucks. Nonetheless, I'm going to try using the Protis to record from a video cassette to what looks like an audio cassette, but is actually a 16 gigabyte USB flash drive.
Dancing with a partner to the sensuous rhythms of the tango. Fantasy? Many people are realizing that ballroom dancing can be a reality. All you need is practice time and the information on this tape. Hi, I'm Teresa Mason. Intermediate ballroom dancing is designed to give you variety and control in 6 popular ballroom dances.
Obviously you can't expect HD quality from VHS, but I think that looked and especially sounded terrible. Even worse than what I got from Legacy Box. And to make matters worse, the audio and video weren't even in sync. It did record MPEG-2 video at 720 by 480 resolution, but despite having it set to HQ mode, the video was only around 2 megabits, which is what you normally get from a DVD recorder in the low quality setting, and despite having it set to NTSC, it recorded at 25 frames per second. And also the audio was only using a sampling rate of 16 kilohertz at 48 kilobits per second. So no wonder the quality was so bad. Now let's try a sample of recording from VHS in the MP4 format, just in case that might turn out better. Nope, that still looked and sounded awful. This time the video bitrate was slightly higher at around 3 megabits, and it did record at the correct NTSC frame rate of 29.97 frames per second. But the audio bitrate is still far too low, and it only recorded the audio in mono. To give the Protis one last chance to redeem itself, I'm going to try using it to record video to a DVD to see if that produces higher quality results. Well, I just recorded 30 minutes of video to the disc, and during that time I didn't hear the drive running at all. Then when I stopped recording, it took at least another 30 minutes for it to finish burning and eject the disc. The manual does say burning can take a significant amount of time. Please allow the process to finish. But I didn't expect it to take that long. Hopefully it was worth the wait.
Well, now that you've done me a favor, what can I do for you?
Well, my brother needs help in his report.
Really, Robbie? What kind of a report is it?
It's not policemen and the job they do.
Oh, that's terrific. I have great respect for our law enforcement personnel. This is going to be fun. Oh, but first, I think we need to change clothes first. There, that's better. Now, are you guys ready to see how policemen do their job?
You mean how policemen and policewomen do their jobs? Put a cork in it, Amber.
I think Hard Hat Harry was moonlighting as a member of the Village People. But anyway, I don't think the video quality was any better when burning it to a DVD, and for some reason it stretched it out to a 16:9 aspect ratio. Plus the audio quality was still absolutely abysmal. Now I'll give you a direct comparison between the imitation and the real thing using this Hi-Fi Stereo VHS tape. And by the way, notice how closely it copied the menu of the Sony. And to make this a fair comparison, both of these recorders will be set to their high quality mode. And on the Sony, I will not be using any special high quality deinterlacing and upscaling like I normally do. I'll just be dragging and dropping the footage from it directly into iMovie, the same as I'm doing with the Protus DVD recorder.
Live from the Improv in Santa Monica, California, it's the Kellogg's Pop-Tarts Comedy Video, starring Paula Poundstone. Also starring Jeff Stilson, Anthony Griffith, Doug Kehoe, and Marty Putz. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pop-Tarts. So hot, they're cool. Live from the Improv in Santa Monica, California, it's the Kellogg's Pop-Tarts Comedy Video, starring Paula Poundstone. Also starring Jeff Stilson, Anthony Griffith, Doug Kehoe, and Marty Putz. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pop-Tarts. So hot, they're cool.
I feel sad for all the people who threw out their tapes after converting them, and now they're stuck with that horrendously bad quality, because that was literally part of the sales pitch for this device.
That's going to allow you to digitize that footage so you can finally get rid of that camcorder for once and for all.
Now you really get to get rid of some serious clutter.
Yep.
Now you get to really have these memories.
And of course, just like Legacy Box, both networks piled on the scare tactics that all of your family's priceless memories are going to fade away and get destroyed if you don't immediately convert them to digital.
This could be your last chance to digitize because those VCRs aren't being made anymore.
Usually what happens with our memories is they start to deteriorate after a couple years, and they start to fade away.
What would you pay once they're gone? Any amount of money, right? For the wedding,
Right.
for the first steps, for the recitals.
I have a feeling this is the funniest thing he's ever seen.
And there is a newer version of this recorder with a slightly larger screen that they're still selling today. They claim it's new and improved, but I'm not willing to spend $200 to find out if the quality is any better.
This is the brand new upgraded model, so it's more capable, it's easier and simpler than it's ever been before. It's the stuff on the camcorder. We're connecting it to this magical black box, and it's going to digitize it for us. It's going to preserve our legacy.
And they do everything to trick you, right? So number one, they get the British narrator, so Americans are like, ooh, learning. And then, I know, that's all it takes.
Well, I was really hoping that this knockoff of the Sony DVD recorder would be close enough to the real thing that I could consider it to be an acceptable substitute, but that is definitely not the case. It's just another lesson in not trusting what actors with pretty faces are being paid to sell on home shopping TV channels.
Your puppy dog eyes and goofy charm turned me on, but you wouldn't believe it.